today's pork is incredibly lean, and so it's very easy to overcook. And it's dry, and as people get sort of turned off on it. What's really nice about this is once you bread it, it keeps the moisture in the pork. You can see this is almost the size of a plate now. Next step is to bread it. So you need some sort of shallow dish. I mean, you could try this in a pie tin, but something that you can dip each cutlet into. In one, I'm gonna put flour, a splash of milk, maybe a quarter cup or so. Beat this together. And the last one is the breadcrumbs. Use panko, and we're gonna add a little bit of chopped rosemary and freshly grated Parmesan Reggiano. So once you get your 3 stations set up, then you're just going to take one cutlet, dip it in the flour. Whenever you're breading something, it's sort of a good idea that one hand is the one that deals with the wet ingredients and the other one sort of deals with dry. Otherwise you wind up breading your fingers as well as whatever food you're working with. Once it goes into the breadcrumbs, you want to pat it really well so that the breadcrumbs adhere to it, and set it on a sheet pan. Ready to cook the pork. You need a wide bottom skillet. As you can tell, your pork is very large as well, so you want a lot of surface area. And we're going to do this in olive oil. This is an Italian recipe, so they love their olive oil. Don't use your most expensive bottle of olive oil for this. And most likely, you're only going to fit one in a pan at a time. But when it goes in, it should sizzle. You don't want it to steam in there. This shouldn't take very long to cook. We're just going to brown it on both sides. You should be able to do that fairly quickly. You can actually see the rim of brown developing. Go a little bit more, but the rim is starting to brown. It'll only take a little bit longer. Turn it over. I'm going to take them 2-3 minutes per side. Let oil drain off. Being that you're not able to do all the pork at one time, what it's probably a good idea for you to do is transfer your pork to a tray, a resting rack like this, and you can keep it in a low oven while you're cooking the rest of the pork. If you need to, replenish the pan with a little bit more olive oil. Pork Milanese I thought would be a really nice complement to go with our Two Creeks Pinot Noir from the Anderson Valley. One of the things about this particular wine and this area is that these wines show really nice acidity to them. They're really bright, crisp. They make really good complements to food. That acidity, I think, helps cut through sort of the richness of the breading that's around the pork.
I like the flavors together. That's a great combination. The wine, it's very bright and lively, so I think it goes really well, especially with that little bit of lemon on there too. And the arugula, kind of that little bit of spice. It comes from our estate vineyards. 2 separate vineyards, close in proximity, but very different in microclimates. Apple Barn is more exposed, gets a lot of sunlight, whereas Annahala is a little bit more up against a benchland with trees, and they're probably about maybe 3 to 4 miles apart. The Annahala fruit develops slowly. It's a little cooler there, so we get a lot of bright cherry. And at Apple Barn, it's much warmer, and so we get a sturdier wine, a lot of concentration. Both vineyards share about 9 different clones of Pinot Noir, but together it's very beautiful, very well balanced. Goes great with food. It's a perfect site because you want some cool evenings to retain all that fresh acidity. We get lots of fog in the morning. It burns off maybe around 11, and then you get some intense afternoon sun and heat, and then the fog rolls back in around 3 o'clock and everything cools way down. The cool nights and cool mornings really help Pinot Noir to retain that acidity and a lot of the freshness. I love it. The bright, bright fruit, it's just really, really beautiful.